To begin this assessment, I have my client stand. This assessment determines whether the client has knock knees, the feet placement, and whether there's any twisting in the hips. Could you do a one-leg stand for me? A healthy client should be able to hold this position for 5 minutes. Could you do a one-leg squat for me? This client has actually had a meniscus reconstruction and is illustrated from the internal rotation during this. Can I have you step down for me? I'd like for you to perform a Thomas step. Step to the end. Would you grab your front leg? Lean back, please. Thomas test tests the length of the psoas. She has a positive Thomas test. It means everything is all right. Could you lean back, slide further back for me? And could you do like a bridge? Bridge illustrates the strength here in the psoas area. Right down. I will pull the feet out to assess the length of the legs, leg length, and I'll also palpate the pelvic and the psoas area to make sure that there is no asymmetry. Asymmetry illustrates that there is uneven loading. From this position, I could also do to test the range of motion in the hip. It's a healthy client, she has good range of motion in the hip. From here, I could also test whether or not there is any clicking or popping in the quadrant. Any clicking or popping in the quadrant illustrates a labral tear. From here, I could also test the vastus medialis. I could test whether it fires correctly. Could you extend your leg, like tighten your leg a couple more times? This illustrates that the vastus medialis is firing right. I would also have, could you turn? From this, I would assess the glute strength by extension, flexion, and if the client is able to hold this position, it illustrates great glute strength. I would also, could you turn over? One moment. I can also perform an Ober test from this position to test whether or not the knee can reach the table from that position. This is a healthy client, her knee does reach the table. Could you turn over for me? Yeah, I can test the hamstrings to see whether or not her feet can touch the glute. If so, there's perfect range of motion. Can you turn over for me? Yes, turn over on your back for me. The 90-90 test also tests leg strength. During the 90-90 test, there should be 70 degrees. A healthy client should be able to get about 70 degrees during the 90-90 test. I could also do a test to test the Lockman's test to test the ACL. And I could also test the patella. The patella should glide in every direction at least 2 centimeters. If the patella does not glide in 2 centimeters and has a locking, it normally illustrates PFJ, which is like the locking of the patella. I could also perform the McMurray test to test whether the MCL is still in, yes, the MCL is still intact. I could also do a meniscus test. And that's it. Thanks.